Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Psychic Medium Raymond Guzman, and today I'm going to be doing the celebrity psychic reading on Bill Cosby. And this has been requested by many of you on my channel, and I had been holding off for quite some time because there's so many things going on right now within the nation, and it's a lot of it. I feel like has been turned where black men are being portrayed in a certain light, and then white men like Weinstein and other ones, that have Kevin Spacey, that have also done the same thing as Bill. Maybe not as the same magnitude as Bill, but they have done, their crimes. They've committed crimes, and it hasn't been shed to a certain light. So I will start off the reading by saying that I do feel like right now there's a lot of attention on black men, and on the black culture, and it's like it's almost creating like a distraction in many ways, even though it may not seem like it, but it is a distraction in many ways from the real issues that are going on within our government. So I'm going to give you exactly what I see from this whole situation with Bill Cosby, what I see for going on, here in 2019 and going on forth. I'm not going to get into the details because everyone knows, or everyone that is tuning in, unless you've been living, somewhere where you don't have TV, everyone more or less knows the situation with Mr. Cosby. I will say his current state of mind. I think there's a lot of questions and things that have surfaced, in the last couple of days, that he's been talking to his mother, or seeing ghosts, seeing spirit. I don't feel like this is true. I feel like this is the media in many ways, using again another distraction or tactic to distract the public. I don't feel like Mr. Cosby at all, when I tune into his soul, is someone that's senile or even has dementia. I don't get that. When it does come to the crimes themselves that he did, I guess the looming question here would be from a perspective of the psychic insight. Did or did he not commit those crimes? Are a lot of these women telling the truth, or did they lie? Because a lot of them, the statute of limitations had passed by the time they had come forward. But he was charged with 3 counts of sexually aggravated assault. So the question here is, from a lot of people, did he commit those crimes? What I'm getting from Spirit is that he did. He did, but I do feel like a couple of those women, it's a possibility that their stories, that they gave didn't add up completely. And that is just what I'm getting from Spirit. Now, I'm not saying that they're lying, but I do feel like there's some level of the truth being bended or twisted, and that's what's coming from Spirit. That's what they're telling me. So I do feel like there's a couple, at least 5 of them, 5 to 6 of them, where the truth was bended or not given in its entirety, on how it happened. But this was definitely like an attack. It was definitely like a bandwagon where everyone came forward, and these women came forward, and I don't see that they would be lying, because anyone that's a victim of a sexual assault or molestation or rape, they do go through a psychological and emotional and spiritual changes when something traumatic happens like this. And the fact is that Bill had this, he's always had this star power. And like I said, in Hollywood, in the entertainment industry, people that are very powerful can ruin careers if you say anything. So I think a lot of these women were very fearful of saying anything, although there was 1 or 2 that came forward in the last couple of years. They have come forward, but a lot of these women were barely in the beginning of their career. They were wanting and had aspirations, and in order to make it in Hollywood, sometimes a lot of these actresses and actors will do whatever it takes, or they will keep quiet and endure some type of abuse in many ways to get ahead, because the career or making money and surviving in places like Los Angeles and New York, which is very expensive to live, the cost of living, it's they're going to do whatever it takes. So a lot of people will align themselves with people like Cosby. Did other people around him know? yes, I mean, they would have known. They would have known what was going on with Bill. Does Camilla know? That's the question I think a lot of people would be asking. Did she know his habits? Did she know how he was, as a person? And what I get is that she would have been aware. She would have already had confronted him before all of this came out. She would have been. Why would she have stuck by him? You have to understand this is an older couple from a different era, and they stick together. And I feel like she's that type of woman that is very loving and has taken the vows of their marriage serious, until death do us part. So I feel like for her, it's more of a religious and more of a spiritual connection to her husband and that loyalty, even though she doesn't condone it. And she did speak out that these women were, or whatever she said on the media, that, was still defending or supporting him. I feel in many ways this is the reason why. It's because, again, she has a lot of loyalty to him, and she's not going to break that. I do feel like she is not in a good place right now spiritually, and even her health, being separated from Bill. And I do feel like they still communicate with each other, but she is very scared about the outcome in his health completely as well. Now, when I get into his soul, the question would be, does he have any remorse for these things that he did, that were very very evil, very horrible to women? And the answer is no. I don't feel like he has any remorse when it gets into his soul. I don't feel, and I feel like he's almost like in denial in many ways. He has led himself to believe that he's innocent in many ways. And again, he still has this power, even though he has been locked up and he's lost lots of money. He still has powerful, he still has money in his accounts. He has it for his wife, and then there's still, he has powerful attorneys that are working on his case. What I'm getting from spirit, what's, with him is that, yes, he does have some physical health problems. He is legally blind. We know that. That's fact. That's nothing new that I'm saying there. But I do feel like his health is going to deteriorate within the next 2 to 3 years due to all of this stress. There would be some cardiovascular issues that he already has. I also feel like there are some other issues in the system himself that he's dealing with, having to do with his own kidneys and maybe even the blood sugar. These are things that he would need to watch for, or the people that are that he's under medical care for would have to watch for him. I do feel like his spine, there's also some back issues, issues with balance. So that is definitely something going on. Like I said, I feel like his health is not going to be in a good place, and it's only going to deteriorate in the next couple of months to the next 2 to 3 years. His health will continue to decline. As far as his being sentenced 3 to 10 years in prison, what I'm getting from Spirit, they are supposed to appeal this on January 18th, if I'm not mistaken. It's a big red tape with all of it that's going on. However, what I'm being shown is that there is justice being carried out. All of this is karma in nature playing out in the real time. Some people would say, that he was part of the Illuminati. I believe the Illuminati does exist, yes. Whether or not he has that, connection or affiliation with them, and whether or not this is something that is happening, I cannot confirm or deny. But what I will say is that there was a lot of darkness looming around him. And I do feel like he was surrounded, and it was almost like a rush when he would commit these crimes. He would get off, in a certain way of doing that, and then going on into the next. I feel like when he was doing, he never felt like he was going to ever get caught, because a lot of these women were intimidated. They were terrified. They knew, like I said, he had connections in the industry, so all it would take for him would be to have a conversation with someone or getting contact with someone's agent and ruin their reputation, and then their career would be over. And that's how it happens. But as far as what is happening with his sentencing, I feel like it's going to be very much like Martha Stewart. They are going to kind of reduce the sentencing. I don't see him carrying out 10-year sentence. It may be something kind of like where they reduce the sentence to 3 years, and then some probation or followed by a house arrest. But they're definitely going to, what I'm getting from Spirit at this time is that the sentencing is going to be reduced. The lawyers are definitely, that are his defense team, his lawyers are definitely using his health to their advantage. The fact that he's legally blind, the fact that he's in his 80s, the fact that he may not, be mentally in all his faculties, which I feel like he is in many ways, but in many ways I feel like they're going to kind of, say that he is kind of senile, or, dementia's already setting in. He would be kind of, harmless. He wouldn't be a threat to anyone. That's what I'm hearing from Spirit, is what the lawyers are kind of like, they're pitching this and they're practicing, they're spending hours, on how they're going to present this to the appeals court. So it's definitely something that's going on right now. How he is being treated in prison, I feel like, he has special treatment in many ways. Again, this is money that is buying this. So again, what I'm getting from Spirit is that he is not necessarily uncomfortable right now in prison. I know that sounds horrible for me to even say that in many ways, but I don't feel like it is. It's kind of like I said, like Martha Stewart, where she got house arrest. I feel like right now they're up in the air, but when it comes down to it, Spirit is showing me a finality to all of this. So it could be that he is going to get a reduced sentence, whether he gets released back into the care of his wife, or within the home, where, in house arrest. That's to be seen, but it's very possible that maybe after serving a couple of months to a year, that he would get, released on that. And what is playing here, what Spirit is saying, is that there's money here. There's definitely some money and people of influence that are that Bill may have connections to. Like I said, Bill has a lot of dirt on a lot of people, and if he would open his mouth, he could take down a whole bunch of people that also are in the same predicament, or in the same situation, or would have been in the same situation as he has been, with doing what they did. But I feel like he's not that type of person, and he also values his life, because, when you kind of threaten someone else in the industry, they could easily, hire someone within the prison system to kind of eliminate you in many ways. Like I said, it's a very twisted world of this Hollywood, of the entertainment industry. Not everyone is in this, and not to this magnitude, but with Bill, I do feel like he doesn't have any remorse. And furthermore, like when I push further into tuning into his soul, what I can hear from his thoughts is like he's saying, our people, have turned against me, my own black brothers and sisters. And this is, like, I feel like he feels like, black people in general that knew him or that know him are racist as well. They're prejudiced. They're not helping him, that they've sided with, with the masses, which he considers to be white people. So I do feel like there is this separation that he has for his, for people of the, that he considered friends before, people that have turned their backs against him or don't want to be affiliated with him. And it's an unfortunate situation, that, like I said, that all of this has been played out in the media, and against a black man versus Weinstein, that's a white man, and you don't see that, like the magnitude that it has happened to Bill, and to R. Kelly, and to a lot of these other men. But like I said, this is going to be a year in which 2019, a lot of men and women, men are not the only ones in Hollywood doing this. There are women doing the same crimes and have gotten away with it for a long, long time. And there's going to be exposure to all of this. It's the age of revelation. It's the age of things being revealed. This is a year where things are coming out and things cannot be hidden. And this is what's happening with people like Bill, R. Kelly, Kevin Spacey, Weinstein. They are all coming out, and there's going to be more. Stay tuned for this year. Trust me, there's going to be some more scandals coming out. I do feel like there is a docu-series as well that they're wanting to do for Bill. There's some kind of movie based on him that they're going to about this, the accusers and what he did. But I feel like at this time they're kind of up in the air. I don't know if it's going to be Lifetime, but I am getting from Spirit there is going to be a movie being made about his situation, kind of portraying almost like his rise to fame, and they're going to kind of twist it in a way to focus a lot more on his crime, on the crimes that he's committed. Um, I do get at nighttime he has nightmares. I don't feel like he sleeps well, so I do feel like he does have nightmares. Does spirit is he spiritually someone that can communicate with the dead, or is he seeing that? Because that's something that's circulating right now in the media. I feel like he has some spiritual abilities that he could see the dead. And the reason that I'm saying this is going to sound kind of weird maybe to some people, maybe to not to some people. When your health is deteriorated, like his health is being deteriorated, there's a greater connection to the other side. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to pass in the next weeks or months or even the next 2 or 3 years. Only God knows that. I don't know that. No psychic really knows when someone is going to pass. But when I connect to his life prana, it's kind of like it's weak. It's not life prana. The prana is the life essence that connects us here to the physical world, our body. And I don't feel like his prana is very strong. It's like midway. Spirit also is talking about cancer. So I don't know if he's had cancer scare before, but this is something that could be something that he has dealt with, or is going to come out on the surface in the next couple of years. But what I am getting that there is a finality to all of this. I am getting that the lawyers have something, some kind of evidence or something that is going to be like a plot twist in many ways to when they present it to the appeals court. There's going to be some powerful discussions, necessarily of them overturning their decision. I don't feel like they're going to overturn it, but there may be a reduction in sentencing, and that's what I just keep getting. And Spirit keeps saying Martha Stewart. They keep referencing to that, and even though I know that her crime was way different than what Bill did, hers was more a fraud, and dealt with financial matters and whatnot. Again, I'm getting that there is people that are being paid, and there's people that he has in power that that are going to kind of get him out in many ways. I do feel like there's going to be lawsuits, counter lawsuits in the next years, or the next year or so. We will hear about it, that his attorneys will be doing against people, people that have come against him. And even though I know that that may sound crazy, that's what I'm getting. There's going to still be some legal issues. I do feel like if he does get a reduction, there's going to be some more women that may come out later that that haven't, due to their privacy, to really kind of create a riot. So like I said, even though he would get a reduction in sentencing, what I see is that there's going to be a lot more of an uproar about this, and people are going to want to do interviews with him upon him getting out, and getting his story. And he's going to continue to admit that he's not guilty in many ways. In his mind, he doesn't feel, like I said, that he is guilty. And his children, family members, people that know him, close friends, there is a certain level of embarrassment, this a certain level of, they just are kind of, they can't believe it still. It's almost like because he had this, this fatherly image on TV, on the Cosby Show, and all these people, all these actors and actresses that he, starred with, he created that he was this, this version of a good dad, and nobody would ever think that Bill Cosby had these skeletons, hiding in his closet. But I think some of the questions would be also here for the listeners and viewers, for the actors in the Cosby Show, like, the cast members, like the people that played his children, was there ever anything going on there? I don't feel like he could do it. Anything around the set of the Cosby Show. There was definitely a lot of people always around and stuff. So I don't feel like anyone there was really affected in some ways. Were there rumors at the time, or did people think that maybe? I do feel like there was rumors among the producers and people around him circulating or speculating about this, but no, I don't feel like that any one of them was really personally affected like these women were in many ways. But I do feel like he is going to be he feels defeated in some ways, but yet he has a chance because he knows, like I said, he has connections and people that he could take down that definitely are going to do whatever they can to kind of cover it, where he can get out or get reduced sentencing. Will he ever go back into acting, or will he have any kind of level of fame? I don't feel like he's ever going to go back into movies or anything like that. I feel like he's at the point of his life where he wants to be more private and recluse, and just enjoy the last couple, whatever amount of time God has for him. Because like I said, only God ultimately is the only one that knows the hour for everyone. And as a psychic here, I'm very limited on what I can give as far as that is concerned. But I do get, that he is not remorseful. He's not, he doesn't have, remorse for what he did. And he's still adamant that he didn't do it. So, I mean, this is just what I get from Spirit. I'm just a messenger, to this. So this is the reading. I know that a lot of people may have some other questions that lingered, but this is exactly what Spirit wanted me to bring forth today while I was channeling these messages. And from here on out, I'm going to try to not focus on this type of energy, because again, it's a very disturbing energy to be channeling, when these crimes were committed, etc. And what he is feeling as well, because I can feel a lot of what he's feeling as well. And there's a lot of anger and rage that surrounds him. And it's a lower vibration. So going forward, I'm going to focus more on, other celebrities as well, that y'all have requested, and it's going to be exciting because I have a lot of other people that I'm going to be reading. So I want to thank you so much for tuning in. If there's any other celebrities that you have mentioned, or you haven't seen me do a psychic reading on, please go ahead and comment in the comment section below. Also, if you go to my celebrity playlist, celebrity psychic readings playlist, you can see on that playlist that I have a lot of people that I've read for already, like Aaliyah, XXX Tentacion. I read for him. I did his reading. Just a whole bunch. Like I said, Aaliyah, Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, Ariana Grande, Sam Smith, Justin Bieber, Selena Gomez, Selena Quintanilla, Perez, and just a whole bunch of Jenny Rivera, Juan Gabriel. There's Carrie Underwood. I'm just listing them off the top of my head. Tony Braxton. Just a whole bunch of people that I've done. But I noticed in the comments, some of you have asked for some of the people that I've done before. So all you have to do is you go to my page, the Psychic Medium Ray, on YouTube, my YouTube page, and just at the very right hand corner, there should be like a search, a little icon. You can search my videos. Just type in the name of someone that you want to see a psychic reading on, and how I have them worded in YouTube is like the first name and then psychic reading. Well, the first and last name, unless they go by one name. So it's like Aaliyah psychic reading, and you'll see it. It should pop up. So blessings and love and light. My heart and soul goes out to all the women that were affected by what Bill did. All the families that have been affected, and just anyone that in this lifetime that has been a victim of rape, molestation, etc. Just my heart goes out to you. Big angel hugs to everyone. Blessings and love and light.